Beautiful good morning to you. It is a stunner. We're about to head bush. Got one night, possibly two. So it'll be a two to 3 day trip. And it is a cracker day. And we made it. The Honda CR-V got us here. Beautiful. She's pretty nippy where we are now. Might go and set up over in the sunshine there. Get the pack packed, have a bite to eat, and then we'll hit the trail. So yeah, no dogs today. Just myself, my rifle, my pack, and a little fishing rod. I've never been to the hut that we're off to. She's a bit of a hike, but yeah, hopefully we'll get there no later than an hour or two after dark. I might try and push hard for the first bit. Yeah, we'll just see how we go. Have no idea what the track's like or what the hut's like. Pretty sure we're in quite high beach forest country. Hence why I didn't bring the dogs. I didn't think there'd be any pigs around, and it was sort of a last minute throw together. Get out, clear the head, have a bit of a blowout. So yeah, haven't been out without the dogs for a long time. Be interesting if I disciplined enough and wake up early enough and go for a stalk. Be interesting if I still know how to do it. But yeah, looking forward to it. Try and get a deer, see how that goes, and I wouldn't mind exploring a couple of the creeks where we're going, just to see if there's any blue ducks, and yeah, check on the field, see what their numbers are like. I think from what I've been told the streams are quite small, so I'm not sure if there'll be trout that far up, but definitely I've been in the lower stretches of these rivers where I'm off to, and there were some good trout, so hopefully they're up a bit further. Might give me something to chew on tonight. Well, not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. Go for a trout fish and catch some kite. Yeah, but no, glorious day. She's going to be cold later on, and I'm just standing in the shade now, and it is pretty chilly, even though the sun's out. So we get rugged up, get the body temperature up on our hikoi, and enjoy it. We'll throw you some updates if I have any fun, interesting, exciting things happen. Yeah, onwards. 1 o'clock on the dot. Made pretty good time, so I'm rapt with that. Fingers crossed you're still sitting there. Beautiful little Honda CR-V when we get back, and we'll be away. The sign here at the car park only says that this walk should take 4.5 hours, as opposed to the dock website that said 6. A few fresh boot marks might be from the weekend, and plenty of deer marks. And some sunshine. Awesome. So we just cranked an hour and a half up from the car park. Didn't stop. The track was pretty reasonable. She's a well benched track, but heavily overgrown with a heap of fern and saplings, so you sort of push your way through the whole way. And this, I presume, is what's referred to as the fridge. Those in the know will know. Big helipad here, little flat spot up there for camping. And I presume the reason it's called the fridge is because you're at about 1,000 meters elevation, and you've got this big opening coming straight from the south. So when she's a southerly, she would be frozen. Fridge frozen. But then out this side, oh, the Serenity. Well, we finally spooked our first deer for the trip. There's been plenty of deer sign on the track. And yeah, if I was a deer, I'd be using the track as much as possible, because off the track doesn't look too flash. Plenty of sign around where I am now. And yeah, just had one crash off to my right. Didn't get a look at it. And I presume with the amount of sign I've been seeing that there's a good chance I've passed a few others. Bloody beautiful. Well, got to the toe of the spur, and I just thought I'd sit here in the last 30 minutes of daylight, capture the last bit of sun I think I'll be getting until probably mid-morning or lunchtime tomorrow. She's looking pretty steep down towards the hut and steep sides, so I'm guessing that's going to mean a late start to the sunshine. And tomorrow the weather's actually meant to pack in, so we might not see it at all. But yeah, gonna have a sanger, drink of water, and then we'll cruise on down to the hut. Good evening. Well, we made it to the hut. We've just snuck out for about a 15-minute little meander with the rifle. Didn't go too far because she's pretty steep here, there and everywhere. Yeah, so I thought I'd come back, get the fire going because it's freezing, warm up, and then tomorrow morning I'll go for a big mission up one of the creeks, either upstream or downstream. See if we can see some deer on some slips and catch a trout. The stream's pretty small that I just ducked down to. So depending on the wind, it might be better to go downstream, and as it gets bigger there might be a few more pools that might hold a fish or two. But yeah, not a bad spot from the hut clearing. Into it. Fire's cranking. gears are drying out. Some beautiful beach that I split up earlier. And she's dinner time. Bit of a backcountry carbonara. What do we got? The creamiest of the carbonaras. And some absolute legend left a can of ginger beer, a can of Coke, and another can of ginger beer up on the shelf. So we've smacked one back. Might have to have a fizzy again tomorrow. Plenty of reading material left at the hut. My legs are warmed up again, my body's happy. Just got to get the mind set right and we'll be having a good snooze. Ye to the ha. Morena. Just finished brekkie. Coffee and some rice. Glass of water. And we're heading out on the track. Gonna drop down into the stream and then choose whether we go upstream or downstream. Wouldn't read about it in a jam jar. I just finished my little yarn about the wind and what I was up to, and just above the swing bridge there were some fresh deer tracks coming down and into the bush, and I stood there for about 30 seconds scanning, having a look. They look super fresh. I walked out onto the bridge, glanced down here, and there was a beautiful stag standing right down on the sand. He bolted, got a fright, and went under the trees there and stood there for probably a good 10 seconds. And this dickhead couldn't get a shot at him. My lovely 4x32 scope off the Mrs. Slug gun couldn't pick up any light. And it was like looking through a black hole. Oh, it was broadside on, straight under those trees, just looking at me. And then when I stepped to my left to get a better shot, he smoked it across the stream and up into the scrub. Oh, no good. Primest opportunity. Pretty much 30 seconds to a minute heekoi straight up the hill to the hut. But that's okay. Oh, that's hunting. The good thing is they're out and about. But yeah, right on the bridge, just below it. Should have been a bit more careful, but that's all good. Oh well, bit of excitement, had my arm shaking. Whew. Mr. Staggy took off up that way. It was a beautiful looking animal, nice big body, looked plump. His head was nothing to be excited about, just your typical scrubby 6, but in terms of the body mass and health condition he looked pretty round. So we're going to head upstream, look out for blueies, the old blue ducks, trout, and hopefully snotter venison. Let's do it. So we've been going for an hour now, so that's basically the magic hour over and done with. Been loving it. 2 pairs of blue ducks and 1 single so far. Haven't seen any trout. There's plenty of water for them, so I'd say in another month, during August when they start spawning, they'll be back up here. We had a real good flush just in the month prior, so might have pushed a few of the resident trout downstream. And yeah, this little slip behind me is well used, plenty of fresh marks, and no shortage of deer sign the whole way up here. Fresh prints the whole way. So yeah, I think the wind is definitely playing havoc on me. It's up and down, up and down. And then other than that, it's probably just my own fucking non-patience, not going slow enough. So I was just watching a young yearling for about half a minute, and it spotted me, so I took a shot and we'll go and sort him out. Oh well, that's cool, we got one. It looked like a yearling to me, but it ain't much bigger than the 44, so I'm not sure if we can classify that one as a yearling. It actually looks a bit funny to me, but maybe it's just because it dropped in the stream and floated down, so she's all submerged. For a little bit there I thought it was a bloody seeker. There's been a few reports back up on the track that I walked down of seeker here and there. But yeah, I think it's just a little red Bambi on its way to being a yearling. It is in pretty poor nick. I know it's wet, so it makes them look worse, but yeah, its spine's definitely showing quite a bit and its back legs are quite hollow. So I think we'll take the back stakes out, see what they look like. And the old 44 might need a sight in when I get home, because I lined up its front shoulder but hit it straight through the lower end of its neck in front of the front shoulder. Might have just been a bit of a bad shot placement, but she's been a while since the 44's had a sight in on a target, so it's probably about time. It's been bush bashing for a fair few years since I last had a shot at a target with it. Cool. Oh well, we found some blue ducks. We got our venison. Seen a much nicer one, which would have had some primo backstakes on it down by the bridge, but that's okay. No shortage of sign. So there's plenty of venison in the area. And I think we'll, grab a teeny bit of meat off this fella. Drag the rest up onto that bench. Head downstream. Have some shmoko, and then if the weather holds, we'll go down a bit further and see if we can find a trout in some bigger pools. Couple of minute backstakes cooling down above the water. They're almost like a larger deer's eye fillets, or whatever those muscles are underneath the ribs, the good stuff. But yeah, it came out really well, and the meat seems really tender, so I think I might take a bit off the back legs, possibly open her up and grab out the heart. In hindsight, the shot was probably one of the best you can do, considering basically slit its throat with the 44. It dropped into the stream and bled out super quick. All good. So we got the heart and a few other bits of meat off the back legs, and we're going to head downstream back to the bridge below the hut, and then we'll make a plan from there. Give that slip a couple more years to get some growth on it. And she'll be absolute deer paradise. Right opposite the hut. We've made it back down to this bridge. And I'm still cursing myself about the stag first thing this morning. He was standing right there on the sand, and I was just up there on the track. I could see fresh prints, and I had a feeling there was one around, and I was looking, but I just didn't take my time, and I trotted out onto the bridge, and he spotted me. And then, as I said earlier, he only ran 5-10 meters just behind that big log there underneath that tree, and I just couldn't get a shot at him. The scope was a blackout. So, learning. My fault for having a budget pussy airgun scope, probably like a $50 beast on the rifle. Alrighty, so we just spent an hour heading downstream, or close to, and we're now on our way back up to the hut. Didn't see any deer on the way down, but again, no shortage of sign, and it's all really fresh. So it's promising. There's obviously a fair few in the area. And yeah, it must have been reasonably recent that there was a big wash, because there's a heap of silt and debris up on most of the flats, and even a lot of the metal or the gravel build up all looks pretty fresh. There's a bunch of fresh deer tracks. Some more there. But yeah, I had the wind up my ass the whole way down, and we're coming up towards lunchtime now, so I wasn't too hopeful. No trout, which is a shame. Won't get to tick that one off the list. But yeah, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be up here, because there is enough water. It's not the hugest stream, so I'd say when they're spawning they'll definitely be up, and there's a good chance that the latest flood or big wash that this area's had has pushed them down. Absolute stunning country for creek stalking venison. Heaps of open posies. We've got a fairly good field of view, and every second corner, because most of it is really steep sided, there's a slip. There's a few older slips here and there with heaps of regrowth, and then quite a few fresh ones. And yeah, every single slip has plenty of sign on it. So I'd say if we were to get a good weather window and do another morning or evening walk up or down the stream, you'd come up pretty lucky, I'd say. And I think that this posse would be ultimate in springtime. Spring and summer, when the water's not so cold and there's lots of fresh growth around. I presume you'd have a really good time hunting the creek and all the side slips. So yeah, at the moment I'm thinking I might actually head back to the hut, have a quick brew, a quick feed, pack up and get out of here. I was going to stay another night and just chill, but I've come to realise that if the rain comes in the Savo as predicted, and it is a heavy rain warning, that's meant to last right through till tomorrow midday, then if I stay tonight I'll be walking out tomorrow morning And soaking wet bush, getting even more soaking wet by the rain. And because I haven't found any good trout pools, or should I just say I haven't found any trout, I think I may as well get out of here. All good. Pack up time. Having a can of Coke that was left here by the legend, or legends. So I'm going to smash that back, give us some energy for the hiko out of here. Just ticked on 12:30 PM, so we're doing pretty good for time. And I've just split a little bit of firewood, left my fire lighters and some rubber, and a few teeny bits for whoever's next to get the fire cranking. We're rugged up, got the wet weathers on. It's just started to rain. Hooray! So she's going to be a wet trip out. Okay, yeah. We got in here, I think it was 3.5 hours yesterday. It took us to get in with a couple of small stops. So hopefully it doesn't take us any longer than 4 hours to get out. It's just ticked on 1 o'clock, which is basically the same time we left yesterday. So 1 in the arvo, we'll crank out of here. Yeah, got a nice bench track zigzagging up quite a steep spur to start, so that'll get us puffing. And then once we get up to the 1200 meters elevation mark, we'll just try and keep warm. Keep the legs pumping and the heart rate up, and yeah, try and get through, and then we drop down into the cold shitty valley where the little Honda CR-V will hopefully still be, and then we can boot it home. All goodly. I don't know if we'll see much on the way out. She's pretty miserable, but that's all good. All good. Not sure, but we'll see. It ain't adventure without a bit of misadventure. So we've made it back up to the fridge. The wind luckily is coming from the north, even though it doesn't feel like it. She's still bloody freezing. So yeah, I'd hate to think what it would be like if it was howling from the south. I'm pretty wet and cold now, but we're And we're back. The CRV is purring. Got the heater on. Just changed into some nice warm gears. Couple coldies for the way home. We've still got a bit of excitement ahead. Hour and a half to 2 hours to get home. And there's a good chance I might see a deer on the way if they're brave enough to get out in amongst this cold, shitty weather. So we'll keep the 44 handy and we'll purr our way back along the bush and forestry roads. Awesome trip, loved it. Even the cold weather. I'm absolutely frozen right now, but I know once I get in the Honda, my little beast is going to warm me up. Awesome. Big thanks to Doc, keeping the tracks up to standard and the hut's nice. Yeah, the Ngāhere. Loving life.